further ado, we're going to play some music, most of it based on water. And I'd like to introduce three extraordinary musicians whom I've had the joy of playing with for many, many years, every time I come to the Rockies. And please give a warm welcome to a trumpet master who lives not too far from here and who also teaches young people how to play. And we did the symphonic versions of the song by Woody Guthrie. The second half, we started off playing a piece that Woody loved, Sea Jam Blues by Duke Ellington, and he played a solo, and the whole symphony freaked out because they saw someone who was like a total musician. Mr. Hugh Reagan. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
And a young drummer I met in 1990 when I was here at the University of Denver, and I went down to Chapultepec and heard this fantastic drummer. And my son said, "Daddy, that's what I want to do someday." And my son became a drummer largely by hearing him. He has his own band at Chapultepec 2 or 3 times a week, and he's just everybody's dream musician to play with, Mr. Tony Black. And playing the bass violin when I was on Kuvo, a wonderful hostess said, "You know, I look forward, David, to seeing you come back every year because I know I'm going to hear that great bass playing of Mr. Artie Moore." And accepting the award for Mr. Artie Moore, I know Artie is here someplace, and while he's, in fact, he's not only someplace, he's right on stage, Mr. Artie Moore. Sorry, man.
Sorry, I was watching the baby.
Oh, wasn't that good? Okay, we're going to start off by playing a piece when I first came to New York in 1955 and was studying composition at Manhattan School, and I played with Charles Mingus my 3rd week in New York, a veritable hayseed, playing with some heavyweights I never thought I'd even meet. And that's when I met Sonny Rollins, who had just come back, and he talked about his folks coming from the West Indies, where they're surrounded by water. Every young person learned how to swim. The waters were clear and beautiful and just a part of everybody's life. And of course, he would speak about the island of St. Thomas. This is a wonderful song that Sonny wrote based on a folk song celebrating that beautiful place, like the Rocky Mountains, still pristine and pure, and we hope it stays that way. This will be our version of St. Thomas. Thank you, thank you. The next piece we're going to play is also, it's a 2.5-minute song taught to me by Floyd Red Crow Westerman. And he said when the Lakota people would go to a sweat lodge, they would have just water, stones, and the little tent made from any animal hide or a blanket, anything that was available, and a fire. And just those elements, earth, air, fire, and water, really kind of represented the whole universe. And being in that beautiful situation when you could see the mists rising from the waters being put on those hot coals from the fire, it was almost like the shots that were taken in outer space when they showed the planet Earth, and see the relationship of water, air, earth, fire, and how that was so much a part of all of our DNA and all of life forces. So this whole event tonight is so wonderful because it celebrates that. It transcends politics, it transcends everything. It's just about what's for real, what's precious, and what's valuable. And so this is a very short song. It's called Mastinchela Wachipe Olwan, and it's based on a wonderful old Ladies' Choice social song. We played this at Clearwater for their closing every year. Floyd Red Crow Westerman. Many of you remember, he was a great friend of Vine Deloria's who taught here in Boulder for so many years. This is just one of the great thousands of songs of a people who were here 50,000 years before we were lucky enough to come to this beautiful continent of the Americas to give our families a better life than we ever had in the old country. And we were welcomed. And we were not only welcomed, but we were shown how to be stewards of the land and the waters ourselves. And now, 2016, it looks like a lot more people are interested in that than ever, which is a good sign. So this is Mastinchela Wachipe Olwan. Oh, eh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, yeah, wa, yeah, ya, ya, wa, hey, yo, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, wa, yeah, ya, wa, hey, ya, wa, hey, yo. Hey, hey, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, yeah, wa, yeah, ya, wa, hey, yo, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, eh, oh, eh, yeah, wa, yeah, ya, wa, hey, ya, wa, hey, yo. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have so many pieces we love to do that we've done in Boulder, and I had the honor of being here on the eTown program with Nick and Helen and all the great musicians to play with them and all the people that work here at this extraordinary place that shows that arts can be part of a community for everybody in the community and be something of importance for anybody in whatever they want to do in life, and a refuge for our youngsters to be able to come to see something that celebrates excellence and shared values of a community rather than just corporate merchandising of trash junk to addict people into a lifetime of pursuing unsatisfying, poisonous, carcinogenic crap. Not that I'm... I don't mean to sound judgmental, but there are a lot of things of beauty. So certainly, nothing could be more appropriate than playing this instrument that you saw a little bit in the film for first and last performance, you'll be glad to know, of a piece called Early Morning Lake Pontchartrain. Just E minor. E minor. Well, it's early morning in Lake Pontchartrain long ago. Well, we celebrated that in the movie that you saw during the show. Well, on Lake Pontchartrain and that time back in 2014, now it seems long ago. Well, Matt Mosley was not only dancing, he was somehow prancing and surviving and swimming in those shark-infested crocodile alligator waters. We don't know how he did it, but we know his swimming coach said he oughter. With that thought in mind, when the sun finally came up, we knew that we were able to sup from that beautiful Freedom Cup, because the swim and the beautiful Lake Pontchartrain were here in a gift long ago. And we realized that we wanted to go back someday, tell people that Louisiana was one of the places to go. Kind of like Boulder, Colorado, but without the mountains and without all that snow. Now, it wasn't like Estes Park after dark, but there was a lot of good feelings permeating in the air. But all of us cramped on that little boat were worried that if we were not there, old Matt Mosley, champion swimmer, might sink to the bottom if he ran out of air. Well, Randy was paddling for hours, and all of us said, we don't know how he can do it, but somehow he's going to get through it, and Matt's going to make it to the other side. We realized how lucky we were on that boat, be on that ride. On old long Lake Pontchartrain, we were hoping that we get to the other side. Well, someone said, my goodness, you're 84 years old, aren't you getting tired? I said, I definitely am. I can barely swim across the bathtub without getting winded. But now I'm definitely going to try again. And then when we saw Matt Mosley dancing in that water, we said, he's going to make it. We can only say amen. Well, when that sun came up on Lake Pontchartrain in the early morning dew, well, there's not too much dew in the middle of a lake, but we did the best that possibly we could do to see it through. It was a sight to behold, and great filmmaker Wayne Ewing made it through to see for all of you. Well, since that greatest jazz scat rapper of the Elizabethan age, Shakespeare, that said, brevity is the soul of wit. For these lyrics not to be so long and they have to close the building down before we finish the song, you'll be as pleased as I am to know that it's about it. It's time to hear a little trumpet coming like Zeus from the water. Hugh Regan's gonna play a little bit. Reagan telling it like it is. Well, the waters belong to all of us, for every person on earth. It's neither for she or his. It's all of us on that beautiful human bus taking a ride. Not something that you want to miss. Well, with his customary amazing grace, improvising on the spot, he sounds something different on his magical bass. There's not anybody who's more of a musical doer than the young virtuoso, Mr. R.T. Moore. He's gonna play his bass for you and make a space for you, 'cause that's what he's always known what to do. Audrey Moore, telling it just like it is. Now these three incredible musicians, all of whom are from Colorado, really know what it is. They got my vote. And if only we all could have squeezed on that tiny little boat, I would have played the concluding mournful sounds on my old Beijing hulu side. We're going to take it out with that mournful sound of Lake Pontchartrain in the early morning that made our spirits so high. And if you want to swim across the lake or go tubing this summer in Boulder, please give it a try. Thank you, thank you. Well, unaccustomed as we are to not playing until the last vertebrae has slunk into an osteopath's dream, we're going to end on the dot at 9 o'clock. That's why I have my iPhone out. I don't have anybody to call, but we're going to end on the dot because one of the beautiful things about this eTown Theater is that they made an agreement with the city that they could start on time and, more important, stop on time so that no neighbors would possibly feel that they were being disturbed. So at 8:59 and 58 seconds, we'll stop. We'll join you downstairs. If you'd like to get my books, all those were published here by Boulder's Own Paradigm, or any CDs, or you just want to come down, or you want to speak to the wonderful speakers that we had about the rivers, about our water, which is what this evening is about. We're delighted to greet and meet you there. And again, thank you for coming. And before we have our mystery guests come to close the show, we'd like to do one piece composed by someone that I met in Washington, D.C. in 1952. I was playing extra horn with the National Symphony Orchestra. I was trying to write symphonies, which no one was interested in, and chamber music, which no one was interested in. And I had met Dizzy Gillespie in 1951, who came to my basement apartment and encouraged me to try to pursue all my impossible goals, which I now try to tell every person I meet, young or old, also to pursue those career death wishes with a passion. And it's amazing what a good life you'll have. Anyway, Charlie Parker took me under his wing, as he did with hundreds, maybe thousands of other people. This is way back in 1952. I was just 21 years old when I met him. And because my birthday wasn't until November, I met him in February. He was at the Howard Theater. And he had written a great song called Now's the Time, which was an anthem back then. And since he had written it 7 years prior to that, in 1945, 7 years for a 21-year-old's life is the third of their life. So to me, that was like coming from the medieval times or pre-medieval times of Hieronymus Bosch, not something that was been written lately. And I said, Bird, what's it like doing something that old? And he said to me, he said, now is and will always be the time, because now is the right time. And he encouraged me to try to write symphonies and to try to play jazz French horn and to do all the things I've been trying to do and I'm still trying to do ever since. And I mention that because we want to play that song not as a piece of nostalgia, but to say in 2016, those of you who have kids and grandkids, those of you kids are here, can remind your parents and grandparents that there is no time limit on commitment and excellence and the sense of shared humanity, and that if we can think of our sacred water as one of the elements of what we have to preserve, that will not only bring us together, but make us think about our relationship to all living things and to one another, and as healthy and as beautiful and as rewarding. And I can hardly wait till Matt or anyone has the next event, and I will be there, and I'm going to tell all the people at Clearwater when they get back to the Hudson Valley what an extraordinary thing is being done here. Several years ago, they had a program where they wanted to improve one of the two cities in the USA areas. One of them was around Westchester County, where they have a pure water supply that comes down without any chemicals being added. So they thought they would improve that by building a $1 billion filtration plant so that they could put the proper poisons in to make it more drinkable. The other, they scraped the bottom of the barrel because they couldn't get anybody to be the narrator, so I was about the 112th choice and was honored to do it. And in the film, who did I see from the other city in the United States that has a perfect filtration system but Boulder, Colorado? And the mayor, this was about 15 years ago, gave a talk in the film about how they were taking those waters and keeping them pristine and pure. So in Boulder, I can't think of a better place for all of you to set an example and let people know about that. And conversely, to tell all of our friends and everyone we meet for the rest of our life that this is something that we can all share together, that transcends politics, transcends careerism, transcends anything but what's really valuable, the life, sanctity of life itself. Charlie Parker always believed, he never considered himself to be an activist, nor do I, but he encouraged all of us to be very active and to be aware. So we'd like to play Now's the Time, and you get a chance to hear these fantastic musicians play. And then we're going to have our wonderful mystery guest artists end at 8:59 and a half and join you downstairs to celebrate our beginnings in 2016 to help to clean up the mess and make this the paradise that it was before we were lucky enough to get over here ourselves.
Thank you.